Hi everybody. Now we're on the second house. The second house is a significator of wealth and speech in Hindu astrology. Domestic happiness is also in its signification. If the second house is a benefic sign, and if the second house is tenanted by benefics, and if the second lord is in a quadrant or trine, he will become immensely rich. If the ascendant lord is weak and the second lord is weak with malefics placed in the 6th, 8th, or 12th houses, he will be poor and helpless. If the second lord is exalted, then he will have tremendous wealth and will protect a lot of people. If the second lord is aspected by benefics and is positioned in a quadrant or trine, he will be handsome. If not, he will be ugly and wicked. If the second lord is aspected by malefics and it's with malefics, he will stammer and stutter. If the second lord is with malefics and is positioned in the 10th with an afflicted sun, and if Mars and the sun are positioned in the second house, his speech will be afflicted and he will be rejected by others. The effects of the second lord in the first house. As the second lord is in the ascendant, the native will be wealthy, but there may be strained relationships with other members of his or her family. The native wants to be far away from home, and he or she will long for the pleasures outside of his or her home family. The native have to be careful not to get involved in fraudulent transactions. They'll be subjugated to financial ups and downs that'll mark in their career. They don't care much for manners, and their manners may be frowned upon by society. Domestic happiness becomes a problem. The native will be sweet-tongued, but sometimes he or she will be prone to anger and angry words. The effects of the second lord in the second house. This native will be financially sound. To be great is to be misunderstood. And the native's expression of self-confidence and pride are likely to be misunderstood. Flattery will give ego satisfaction. They do not like those who question their knowledge, and they feel that they know all the answers. They are most likely to have a small family. They'll be sweet-tongued and will be known for their gift of gab. The native's wealth will be above medium and above want. If the second lord is in the 3rd house, the native will be blessed with qualities of valor, wisdom, and economic prudence. They believe that love is physical and do not believe in platonic love. To the native, love and existence are synonymous. The native may fall under temptation of atheism, and the native may become attached to luxurious life. One sister will help. They're interested in music and fine arts, and this will help them professionally. The native needs intellectual company in both love and business. They are not bothered by religious rituals. The native may be looked down upon by people as a miser. The effects of the second lord in the 4th house. The native will be blessed by house and conveyances. The native will be blessed by a pious and religious mother. They have to develop a protective shell to shield themselves from those who assassinate their character. They will be frugal in money matters. The native will earn well from land and automobiles, as the fourth represents vehicles and land. The native's speaking skills will impress the native's friends and relatives. The native may be helped by maternal relatives. That means by the mother's side. The native may be helped by the native's mother and her brothers and sisters. The effects of the second lord in the fifth house. This native will be lucky with investments, which will pave the way for prosperity even in the next generation. The native may become a victim of abandonment and lack of sympathy. This may shock them to the extreme. This has a bad effect on them in the sense that they become unkind to people. Gains unexpected in the form of lotteries are likely. They find the domestic atmosphere restrictive and sometimes enjoyable. This is good for speculation. They can try their luck in lotteries and stock market. The effects of the second lord in the sixth house. As the second lord is in the sixth house, the native gains through enemies, privilege, and wealth. The native will cut anyone to size who go out against the native's wishes and aspirations. They always achieve what they really want through people. They say they employ the means and are not above the board. The native's wealth and power may be attributed to black marketing, blackmailing, and deceit. Be careful about health. The native may be assailed by health hazards in the later part of life. The natives are likely to be subject to persecution from enemies. The native will emerge victorious in the end. The effects of the second lord in the seventh house. As the second lord is in the seventh house, the medical profession may attract them with its treasures. They always condescend and always help others who are lacking in luck. They may waste much money for the gratification of the senses. They have to instill discipline at home. Otherwise, they'll be criticized heavily. The native may have many sources of income, one of them foreign. The native's partner may be religious and pious. The native's partner will have good aristocratic background. The native's wealth will be subject to fluctuations as alternate ups and downs mar the native's career. The second lord in the eighth house. As the second lord is in the eighth house, it'll be difficult for them to retain assets. Misunderstandings with members of the family, likely. The native's hypersensitivity is so high that even a hint of emotional abandonment can bring out unreasonable panic, if not terror. They are likely to lose wealth. Elder brother may misunderstand. The native will have to put extra effort to retain inherited wealth. Relatives turn enemies. The native's words may be misunderstood and there may be enmity. Domestic happiness becomes a problem. Beware of anger and angry words. The effects of the second lord in the ninth house. This native will attain wealth, and the native will have professional expertise during the later part of his career. During the early period of the native's life will be considerable suffering, both physical and mental. The native may secretly resent the loss of childhood innocence and pleasures. The native have to establish unrivaled command on others to retain the image of superiority and self-respect. The native will visit pilgrim spots and follow religion and philosophy, as the ninth house represents wisdom. The native may get legacies and benefits that may come from many a source. The second lord in the 10th house. The native will have professional expertise in whatever profession he has chosen. The native will have to exercise the maximum temperance to keep away from temptations. The native's concept of love is that it is physical and corporeal. They do not believe in platonic love. The native may not get much happiness from progeny. The native will be engaged in many vocation. The native will do business or take to agriculture. The native will also indulge in philosophical dissertations or lectures. As a result, the native may get fame, name, and largesse. The effects of the second lord in the 11th house. As the second lord is in the 11th, manifold will be the sources of income. The native will attain fame by virtue of his or her diligence. The native's health will progressively improve. During childhood, the native may have health problems. The native can earn money by banking and finance. The native's self-development stuns people, and growth generates envy, as both the 2nd and 11th represent wealth. The native will be sufficiently well off and above want, as the 11th represents the fulfillment of all desires. The second lord position therein indicates that the native's desires will be fulfilled. The effects of the second lord in the 12th house. This native will be devoid of immense wealth. It's quite likely that the native may be interested in others' material possessions. The native may not get much happiness from elder brother. The native may yearn for such love. The native may be cheated by people. There may be a violation of confidentiality, as the trust of the native placed in the people may be violated. The native should curb the tendency to criticize others. They may have a vocation connected by rituals and religion. They are quite likely to be involved with the government. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining me on our second house journey. And thank you so much. Have a good night.